guys, so when I have a really fabulous stamp set that has a set of dies that go with it, like this triangle stamp set and the stitched triangle dies, and the products that I'm looking at include a batch of sequins, this basically jumps out at me and says, you have to make a shaker card. So we are going to make a shaker card today. This is our shaker card using the triangle stamp set. Let's see, can I shake it so you can see all the shaky things in there? Aren't they fun? So let's get started and I will give you the tips for making this card. All right, so you notice on our sample here, I did all these pieces in white, Whisper White. I really like the way the other cards from this tutorial suite turned out, the LovenStamps monthly tutorials, and they all use, instead of Whisper White, they use a more neutral color, they use Sahara Sand. And I love this, and so we're gonna make our version of this shaker card with Sahara Sand, okay? So to get started, I have our pieces here. I have a regular sheet of half shaded cardstock. So this is shaded spruce, 5.5 by 8.5, so just a normal size. I have a piece of Sahara Sand that's gonna get stamped to go on the inside, so we can set that aside for a moment. And I have a piece that is 4 inches by 5.25 inches. This is gonna layer on the front. This is the Tis the Season Designer Series paper, which comes in really gorgeous reds and greens in lots of different patterns that will be handy for all of your holiday projects. Be sure to check out the LovenStamps Holiday Helper on Facebook if you are looking for more holiday project ideas. So, all right, so this is gonna go on top and it's gonna give us our shaker. Underneath this, we are going to stamp our trees, but we can't stamp our trees yet because we don't know where they're going to fit. So what we want to do is we want to take our dies and we're going to go ahead and die cut first our large tree, because then I can use that large tree on my stacked trees card, and then the smaller tree, which then could be used for something else too. And I'm going to put them just a little bit off to the left side. So I'm going to grab these and go ahead and die cut, and then we're going to come back. And it honestly doesn't matter too much where you put these. You just have to, because you're going to stamp your trees based on this information. So now I'm going to line this up on the back side just for my sort of lining up purposes, to use the fancy term. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp right through this onto our underside layer of our shaker card. So need to go ahead and clean this off. I don't know, does your chamois look like mine? Or is it better or worse? Either way, it's an amazing ink magnet. So, okay, see, perfectly clear. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and ink this tree in red and set it aside for a second, because what I need to do first is grab my larger tree and go ahead and ink this one in shaded spruce. Make sure I get some good ink on there. And I'm going to stamp, like I said, through the hole. So pardon my head in your shot. There we go. Okay, and pull that back. And then if you want to, you can add the little tree trunk. I'm going to add my tree trunk, I think, in real red. Okay, and there's a lot of extra space down here, but that's okay because that's where our sequins are going to go. And then over here, I need to add our second tree, but before I do that, I don't want the corner here to get stamped. So I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of paper on it. And you can use just a piece of typing paper. Those are not typing papers. Here's some typing paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and cover this so that it is protecting our tree there from getting stamped. And then I'll kind of re-ink this. And remember, we're stamping right through this hole again because we want our trees to be lined up with our top layer, okay? And there we have that. Now they look a little bit like they're layered together. So see how that works? All right, next we are going to start assembling our shaker box. So on this piece of Designer Series paper, I have a piece of window sheet cut, and it is, it is 4 inches. The window sheet's 4 inches by, is it 4 by 4? I think it's actually 4 by 4. Because what I want to do is I want to make sure that it covers this whole window with no no parts sticking out. So I'm going to use my multi-purpose liquid adhesive, and I'm going to go all the way around this so that I make sure I don't miss anything, because any place that you leave a hole on the side could be a place where your sequins would escape. I know, the horror, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and lay my piece of window sheet down here. The window sheets are great. They are super high quality and nice and thick, so that they will not like flex into your shaker box. They stay nice and dimensional. They won't like poke in or anything like that. You do want to keep your fingers off them as much as possible, because you will be leaving fingerprints all over them if you touch them a lot. All right, so we gave that about 3 seconds to dry, which is about the right amount of time. And then I'm going to start with my adhesive strips. So these are the strips from the annual catalog, and the nice thing about these is that they are long, so you don't have to piece together a ton to cover all the places that you need to cover. So I'm gonna pop this extra up here. I just went right straight across the bottom. You could do the little jag if you want to, but I don't think it's that huge of a deal. And I'm gonna pop this one on here. Again, you don't want to have holes where your goodies will leak out. No, I guess they're not going to leak out on the plastic, between the plastic and the glue. Well, anyway, you want your glue to go all the way around, so your plastic sheet, your window sheet doesn't go anywhere. Okay, and I want them to be right up near the edge, but not quite overlapping, because we don't want them to be a design element in our card. We want them to be kind of nicely hidden. Okay. And then that is going to go across there. So really, pretty ideal to have just 2 little strips of this, and you get a lot of these strips in a package, so you'll be able to make quite a few shaker cards. All right, now next part, how to assemble your shaker box. It's really tempting to want to dump the sequins in here and then try and go like this, and then like look from the bottom to line it up. That's way tricky. I'm going to recommend against that, so I'm going to show you how I do it, which I find to be a little easier. So I'm going to go ahead and peel the papers off of our our adhesive strips, dimensional strips, and then I'm going to grab my pieces here, and I'm going to do the light gold because it matches our gold ribbon that we're going to pop on the front here. And then I'm going to add some green because we can. And then you'll notice that I'm popping all the things right into the center because I want them to not get underneath our adhesive strips. Okay, so we've got some red. I think we need more gold, don't you? Maybe we need a lot of gold. We should just keep adding gold. All right, so, okay, now I have an overabundance of sequins, but hey, why not, right? I told you that there's a zillion in that container. All right, so I've got them all shuffled into the center, and then what you want to do is go ahead and bring your lid down from the top. Now, if you realize that you come too close to the edges of your cardstock, like your layers showing at the top, that's okay, you can trim that later. But you want to make sure that you get all your, ooh, I like that number of sequins. I don't think that's too much at all. So, all right. There's still a zillion. I don't think this is like Stregonona's pasta pot. If you ever read that story when you were a kid, Tony, oh my gosh, Tony De Paola. Anyway, Stregonona had this pasta pot that just kept making pasta, and it took over the village and all that stuff. So, although Stregonona knew how to control it, we know how to control our sequins. It was just when somebody got into the pasta pot that they were going to use it without her. They got in trouble. Okay, anyway, Stregonona, thank you for the lesson. We're going to go ahead and pop this over to our ribbon now, and I'm going to pull out a length of the cord. And before you stick this down, you need to add your cord because you won't be able to get it around otherwise. So I'm going to pop this here, and then we're going to use our trick from our other card to tighten the ends so that we don't have a lot of slack for our bow sticking around. All right, so I'm going to tighten that there. And then I'm gonna trim, and let's see. Oh, not too bad actually, it's pretty tight. So what I would do is go ahead and put some adhesive here on this side, and then press the extra string into the adhesive so that it's nice and tight. So I'll go ahead and do that. There's enough to, all right, so I've got that tight there. I'm gonna push this around here so it's straight, press it into the adhesive, and then see how this slack is here? That slack is now out of our card so that we can go ahead and attach this down. Remember, when you're using these seal adhesives, you want to keep on rolling. Roll your wrist, okay, so that you don't have the tape like break out on you. So, okay, all right. So, oops, I'm used to showing my Facebook Live videos, which go this way. So there is our shaker card, woohoo, with all those sequins. And then we need to add our greeting on the front. There is a Joy and Cheer stamp from this set, which I love, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp this here, and then we'll add the little star, and I think the star is going to be green, so let me clean this off real fast. I think it's been red most recently. There we go. I think I inverted my colors from before, but no problem. And I'm going to cut a banner tail, or you can use one of the pick-a-punches to cut that very easily. And then I'm going to line this up here. So I'm going to pop some adhesive here along the bottom. Remember, if you go over the edge, just roll that up so it doesn't show. And then I'm going to pop this here onto our green foil strip. I am adoring these green and red foils. And then this is going to go on our card. I think we need a little less overlap there. Okay, and we'll use Stampin' Dimensionals for that. Our card is pretty thick as it is, so I think it's gonna need some special attention for delivery. And we'll pop that onto our card. Okay, so there is our front. We of course need to stamp on the inside, and I think for this one I'm going to add some trees. Let's see. We'll let the red star tree be the front tree this time. And then we'll put the green stripy tree behind it with our magic mask. So I'm just gonna cover up those edges, and I don't think my tree is very well inked. Go ahead and pop that there, okay? So now we have our layered trees, and then I'll grab our inside greeting, which is a very nice one. Happy wishes to you and yours. So. And really, we've just been playing with a shaker card. What could be happier? I know. I am a big fan. So here is a second version of the shaker card. You can go ahead and do either the version with Whisper White, which is nice and crisp, or you can do the version with Sahara Sand, which is a little more organic. And put a lot more sequins in this one. I'm kind of a fan of the more sequin route. So, all right, they're all like piled up at the bottom, or you can shake them around. Okay, I need to stop playing with the shaker cards. The other projects that are in this month's tutorial are our undermount tree, which is about using the negative space from the dies to position your trees, and our stacked die card, or stacked tree card, which makes the most of the many sizes and shapes of trees. And then those are included in the PDF tutorial that you get when you order any size order from my LovenStamps online store during the month of November. And then also this fun bookmark, the tail goes in your book and this goes out in the front. It's got a little jingle bell on it, and the cute little gift packaging for it. So this is the fourth project for this month. All right. Now, if you order at least $50, you get 2 projects in the mail. The 2 projects that you'll get in the mail, pre-cut and ready to go. You just need your stamps and your ink are in this stacked tree and that negative space tree. So all the sequins and pieces that you need to make these 2 cards you will get in your mailbox. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions at all, drop me an email or leave a comment or a question, and I will get back to you. So thank you guys so much for stamping with me today. Happy stamping.